Lord, to whom shall we go? It can be said of the Church, and people over the centuries have gone away. It is interesting that one of the main reformers who ended up going away was Martin Luther, and that a great mystic, Blessed Seraphim, saw his soul in hell. It would seem that pride had entered in. And so we can presume to know better. But the humility of the soul that returns to childhood as the Lord wishes, when he said, unless you be converted and become as little children, listens and doesn't teach the teacher. If one goes away, one jumps out of the ark of salvation into the rough waters. It is easy to criticize, but to do so is to indicate that one has not that gift of deep understanding that accompanies faith. For to criticize is actually to criticize ourselves, that is, the human part. People criticize the human defects, and they are bound to be in an entity which is partly human. But the Church is more than the sum of its members. And if it did not have those defects, it wouldn't be what it is. The human linked to the divine upon earth and in eternity. The Church is not a museum of saints, but a hospital for sinners, and the sinners are there. But the Church, and the Church only, has the guarantee given by the Lord, and she alone can teach with authority, the continuation of that authority which the Son of God had on earth. Having said that, those who are born in situations of removal from the Church, but which still maintain parts of its grace, notably in prayer and meditation of the divine word, are not without grace either, and those who are born into them are not responsible for their creation. And the Blessed Trinity, which is goodness itself, seeks them where they're at. But if then they begin to be challenged to look further, then that grace of the Blessed Trinity will lead them to Mother Church. It is bound to be such. And I recall how in childhood, being much exposed to the Catholic Church in long journeys on the continent with Dad and Mam, there was a secret nudging that this was huge and ancient, different from our own split and divided situation in Wales, where in a village there might be several chapels, all different. This was a bulldozer and seemed to go way back. And then going into a Catholic church at the age of 13 to experience the High Mass in the local Catholic church in Cardiff, there was something strong which said, there is something here which is greater than man. So it is that we actually secretly know the truth. Secretly. The problem is that we are conditioned. The Lord has a positive will, and his positive will is that we be one, and therefore we cannot persevere in deliberate division and be in that will. Reform begins in our own heart. Moreover, the grace of God is there where physically we are at. We would do well to enter into our heart, there where we are, and create places where he can teach. For he is able to teach the soul if he finds availability and humility in that soul. He cannot teach the loud and noisy, for they are in a situation which is saying to him, "Listen, Lord, your servant is speaking." God, be God, here and now. It is over to you. Teach me how to worship. Teach me directly your truth, for you have the message of eternal life. Adoremus in eternum sanctissimum sacramentum, laudate Dominum omnes gentus, laudate eum omnes populi, quoniam confirmata est per nos misericordia eius, et veritas Domini manet in aeternum. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sic ut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Adoremus in eternum sanctissimum sacramentum.